Who went through tables? Who climbed some ladders? Who got hit with chairs? We're fixing to tell you as WGS-TV reviews WWE TLC tables, ladders, and chairs for 2016. Hey, YouTube, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
What's up, guys? This is Victor Morbius here. Face paint or no face paint, you're still watching WGS-TV.
What's up, guys? I'm the Russell Gamer. Welcome back to another episode of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/RussellGamer. Joining me for this TLC review, ladies and gentlemen, you know him as our resident music mogul over on YouTube.com/LanceMossTV, the incomparable Lance Moss. Lance, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
One of the major gripes I have about this show is the timing of it. It's only been 2 weeks since Survivor Series, and already we had another pay-per-view up our collective butts. I personally don't think 2 weeks is sufficient enough time to build a show and necessary angles to sustain a somewhat decent show. Granted that some of the angles started building before the actual Survivor Series show, but that's for at least 2 of the matches. So what happened at TLC? To answer this question, let's talk about TLC. The kickoff match was a 10-man tag team match with the Hype Bros, American Alpha, Apollo Crews, taking on the Vaudevillains, The Ascension, and Kurt Hawkins. And for what it was, it served its purpose. What I mean is, it was a time filler, but it was a decent match at the same time. Would you agree with that, Lance, that for it being a time filler match, it was also decent at the same time?
Especially with that many guys. Because let's face it, 10 men is kind of hard to organize spots and shit.
Yeah, of course, we would see a bunch of their hot tags and finishes, but big finish of the match was American Alpha with the Grand Amplitude on Simon Gotch to pick up the win for their team. Now let's look at the opening match for the actual pay-per-view for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship with Heath, Slater, and Rhyno defending the titles against Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. Now, Lance, did you catch the fact that they kind of mixed in Orton's old theme in a darker, slower way into the Wyatt family theme?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a botch or it was intentional, because with them, WWE is known for botching the starts of some entrances.
To me, I think it kind of fits in a way. If you think about it, it's kind of taken, because remember, the old theme was called Burning My Light, and you kind of take that and kind of slow it down into a darker style, and it kind of mixes in and blends kind of well with the original Wyatt family theme. So it kind of fits, in my opinion. Yeah. Now, I did enjoy the match, so you're really not going to have any complaints from yours truly, especially since they put the tag team titles on Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. So now Bray Wyatt finally has a championship in WWE lands, much to the delight of the IWC.
Finally, I mean, let's face it, he has been the redheaded little bitch of WWE Creative for the past 2 or 3 years. I mean, hell, yeah, he won a few matches, but in like big matches situations, he always had to take the L. So finally, they're giving him his due.
Now the question becomes, will they be transitional champions? I mean, did they put the championships on them just to have them lose it to Slater and Rhyno on SmackDown? I guess only time will tell what they do on SmackDown Live tomorrow night. Up next, it was the no disqualification match with Nikki Bella taking on Carmella. Carmella sporting a shiner last night. Now I know the news story on what happened was reported on the HWR group page as to how it happened. So be sure you guys check that out on Facebook.
That's HWR chat room.
I'm glad that they decided to incorporate weapons into this match instead of it just being a regular match with the no DQ stipulation attached to it. Now, could the match have been better, Lance? I'd say yeah.
Okay, am I the only one that thinks Big Cass runs around behind Camilla hitting her on the ass with a Singapore cane? Because when Nikki Bella did it, she seemed to enjoy it a little too much. Just saying.
But I'm giving props for that, because I think a lot of female talent don't really want to take spots with weapons. But apparently Nikki Bella and Carmella had no problems with it. The finish of the match was Nikki hitting the TKO on Carmella to pick up the win. And after the match, Carmella saying it was Natalya who attacked Nikki at Survivor Series for some reason, Lance, didn't come as a shock to me.
No, I mean, hell, the person beside the person when the video comes up is usually prime suspect number one. And who was beside Nikki when the thing came up? Natty.
Yep. Up next, it was the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship with The Miz defending the title against Dolph Ziggler. Ladder matches have always been entertaining in the past, and Miz and Ziggler, in my personal opinion, Lance, did not disappoint.
Oh, most definitely. Honestly, to me, there's a fine art to doing a ladder match. Some have been good, and some have been, oh God. Like, my personal preference, I prefer the second WWE acknowledged ladder match instead of the one at 10. I prefer this one from the SummerSlam of that year.
I mean, when it comes to that, we're used to seeing Ziggler with his over the top spots in regular matches. But having it in a ladder match environment really upped it for him. And Miz himself, yes, I'm actually giving props to Miz for having a decent, entertaining match for once with Ziggler. Now, I'm not sure whether or not Miz legit injured himself when he fell from the suspended wire that holds the title belt, but if it's not legit, he sure sold it like a champ. But I believe, Lance, someone needs to tell the back of Miz's thigh that news because it looked ugly.
Yeah, it's some bitch is swollen.
Yep. After a low blow and a couple of kicks to an already injured knee, Miz would knock off Ziggler and reclaim the Intercontinental Championship to not only win the match, but to end the feud between them. Lance, my question is, where do they go next with these two?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Speaking of having no ideas, it was the chairs match with Baron Corbin taking on Kalisto, and in all honesty, who cares? I certainly didn't. There has never been a decent chairs match since the advent of the match a few years ago for the TLC pay-per-view gimmick.
Oh, come on. What about the classic between Kane and The Undertaker?
I'll say this. At least it wasn't as crappy as the stairs match with Big Show and Eric Rowan from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
The finish of the match was Corbin hitting the end of days on Kalisto onto a pile of steel chairs to pick up the win. And now, Lance, can they please end this feud already?
Sure. Probably won't because we want them to, but yeah, they can end it.
Up next, it was the tables match for the SmackDown Women's Championship with Becky Lynch defending the title against Alexa Bliss. And by far, Lance, this was one of the better matches of the night.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I have kind of bias to both women because, well, that's my type, but definitely it's either one of the two top matches of the night.
Yeah, especially with it being the first ever women's tables match, if I believe. If my memory serves me correctly, Lynch and Bliss were both spot on this tables match, so I really have nothing bad to say about it. Now, Bliss putting Becky through a table to pick up the win and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion, I thought it was, as expected. So I guess if Raw's champion is a face in Sasha Banks, I guess SmackDown's champion has to be a heel in Alexa Bliss. I think the only question is, I got to ask the same question here that I did about the tag team championships, Lance. Will Alexa be a transitional champion? Did they put the title on her just to have her drop it back to Lynch on SmackDown Live if they have the rematch?
I'm 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, if the rematch happens, there is a chance of that happening. But anyway, the main event, the TLC match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship with AJ Styles defending the title against Dean Ambrose. Did I anticipate insane spots from these two? Yes, given their track record. I mean, look at what they did last night, Lance. The elbow drop off the ladder through the announcer's table, the table spots, the chair usage. I personally believe, Lance, that Styles and Ambrose lived up to the TLC reputation for sure.
Oh, definitely. It's in these two guys. One's phenomenal. The other one's out of his damn mind. And, well, like I said it right before this match even happened last night that we were a little. So I looked at the clock to see about how much time we had left. It was roughly 45 minutes to an hour, and I do believe I said these two are two of the few guys in this type of a match that can go 45.
I think the one thing people didn't expect last night was James freaking No Chin Magoo Ellsworth to turn on Ambrose by throwing him off the ladder through a couple of tables on the outside, allowing AJ Styles to climb up to the belt uncontested to pick up the win and retain the championship. Now, Lance, I don't know if you heard this, but when Ellsworth was questioned about it on Talkin' Smack after the show, it was revealed that Ellsworth was doing this to ensure his title shot at AJ Styles remains intact, and sure enough, per the announcement of Shane McMahon, Ellsworth now has a championship match tomorrow night on SmackDown Live against AJ Styles. And let's be honest here, people, and Lance, I'm pretty sure you'll agree with this. Ellsworth is more suited for 205 Live and the Cruiserweight Championship more than anything.
Hell, he's more suited for NXT.
Well, you got a point there. And another thing that kind of baffles me, which doesn't make any sense, was Ellsworth's turn. You know, Ellsworth, he's been a hot draw for SmackDown as of late. I may not like him, and I may not like him as a person, as a talent, but I won't deny the fact that he's been a hot draw for SmackDown Live. So why turn him?
Well, I'll tell you the one reason. What does Vince McMahon hate?
He hates little guys.
Well, I'm getting sort of kind of, but people that get over without him making them. And this is the same guy that basically got his ass handed to him his first night on Raw by Braun Strowman and came in and got himself over and not let Vince get him over. So, long story short, I have a feeling Mr. Ellsworth is in a trip within the next 6 months, is getting a trip to the Ambrose Asylum to get his ass thoroughly kicked.
It just baffles me how WWE Creative can think sometimes when it comes to their storyline writing. I mean, it's just something I don't understand. You know, what's the draw? What's the appeal of No Chin Magoo Ellsworth? I just don't get it. You know, I don't see what people see in this guy to make him a little guy.
He's the little guy, and people love to cheer for the little guy.
So, is he the new Daniel Bryan in a sense, then?
Oh, hell no. Well, he won't get nowhere near the as Daniel Bryan.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're being joined now by the host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Rick Head. Rick, one thing we were just discussing is what happened last night with the turn of Ellsworth, which to me doesn't make any sense, because Ellsworth, you know, I don't like the guy, but I will admit he's been a big major draw for SmackDown as of late. So why take one of your big hot tickets in Ellsworth, which I'm still sick to my stomach to say, and turn him?
Well, look, you know, I'm going to make a quick statement. You know, this Ellsworth storyline wasn't going to go that far. Now, I knew he was going to be a factor, and I knew it was going to be a factor on Ambrose losing. So, you know, keep in mind, you have to look back and say that, you know, the mentality is James Ellsworth has beaten AJ Styles two or three times, so now he's overconfident. The concept I'm gathering is that he's going to try to get, a title match. And
yes, it is confirmed. He even confirmed it on Talkin' Smack after TLC that yes, James Ellsworth has a championship match tomorrow night on SmackDown Live.
Yes, and in short, this is going to be a very short feud, and then he's going to go down to jobber status. So for me, it makes sense. I think it would have been easier or better if James Ellsworth actually unintentionally knocks over the ladder. You know, AJ Styles tosses him out and gets the thing, and then after the match, Ambrose, pretty much turns heel and hits Ellsworth. But they went in a different direction, and whether you want to believe it or not, I think it was the right direction.
final question before going to overall scores. Is James Ellsworth now technically a heel?
He's technically a heel, but he's guaranteed to be a jobber.
Lance, what do you think?
Technically a heel, guaranteed to get his ass beat by Dean Ambrose.
Overall score on tables, ladders, and chairs this year gets a 3 out of 5, which I'm being generous about. With best match of the night going to the TLC match, with the tables match a very, very, very close second. With worst match of the night, honestly, the chairs match. Because, again, like I said earlier, who cared? Nobody. But I will say this, like I said before, at least it wasn't as crappy as the stairs match from a couple of years ago. You remember that debacle, right, Rick?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Big Show and Eric Rowan. That was a horrible decision by WWE. But anyway, Rick, over to you. Your overall scores and your picks for best and worst match of TLC.
Best match definitely was the main event, despite even the Ellsworth debacle. I can say it was pretty decent. But the match itself, the quality of the match, definitely a 5-star match. The worst match of the night, I hate to say, was Nikki Bella versus Carmella. It was very, very dry. There was no spots that I really liked. Even on Raw, I would not appreciate that match.
Okay, and Lance, over to you.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. Best match has to be the main event, even though now AJ Styles is going to need to get his damn trunks fixed. But,
yeah, I'm about to mention that he tore a hole in his pants.
And then, like, runner-up has to be the Divas title match, or women's title match. And worst, got to be Nikki Bella versus Carmella. Because that one's no.
Well, anyway, guys and gals, that's been our thoughts and our opinions on WWE TLC. What we want to know from you guys out there, the viewers and subscribers, your thoughts on WWE TLC. What are your overall scores? What are your picks for best and worst match or segment of WWE TLC? Definitely want to hear what you guys out there have to say. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button. Like a channel. Where can fans check you out on HWR?
Well, you can check us out in the group section on Facebook under the name HWR Chat Room. We have a YouTube page where I just recently did a tribute video, and that's over at youtube.com/HWR Show. And tonight, HW Hardcore Wrestling Radio, we'll be doing our live play-by-plays, as well as we'll have our Raw reaction later on tonight. And the Wrestle Gamer will be joining us.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Lance, where can fans expect to come visit your channel over on youtube.com/LanceMossTV?
Album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, guitar builds, and every Wednesday night I go live with Lance Moss TV and friends. I never know who's going to show up, so subscribe if you hadn't, and hit me up on Twitter. It's at Lance Moss TV.
Make sure you guys follow WGS-TV on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The links will be provided in the description box below. And don't forget to check out a couple of the videos I'll have in the annotations at the end of this video. And if you guys haven't yet, if you want to check out more wrestling talk with awesome gameplays, you know the way to do it. You got to hit that subscribe button down below. So with that being said, for the hardcore host of Hardcore Wrestling Radio, Brickhead, and the incomparable Lance Moss from Lance Moss TV, I am your friendly neighborhood Wrestle Gamer, and I will see you next time right here on WGS-TV. Bye, guys!